Hello and welcome to our presentation on internet safety. My name is Jamie Shadman and I am the school counseling intern here at Otwell. The purpose of this presentation is to provide some insight on how middle school students spend their time online. We will look at some statistics, we'll look at the positive and negative aspects of social media, and what parents can do to help their child find a balance between their online and offline worlds. So middle school students spend an average of 6 hours each day on some kind of electronic device. In high school, that average increases to an average of 9 hours a day on some type of screen. And I also want to note that these statistics are from 2018. I imagine that because of how our world has changed because of COVID, those numbers are probably higher now. So these are current teen internet habits. So 45% of teens in 2018 reported that they are almost constantly online. 44% reported that they are on several times a day, and only 11% are on less often than that. Additionally, 95% of US teens had access to a smartphone in 2018. 27% use social media hourly, and 72% say that they often or sometimes check their phones as soon as they wake up. And with all this time spent online, it is important for parents to understand not only what their kids are looking at, but to also understand the impact it could be having on their lives. And having said that, almost half of all teens surveyed admitted to hiding their online behavior from their parents. 46% of teens have cleared their search history on their browser, and 1 in 5 have used a private browsing feature to hide their online activity. I found these statistics pretty alarming. 40% of kids in 4th through 8th grade said that they have connected or chatted with a stranger online. And of those 40%, 53% gave their phone number to a stranger, 21% talked on the phone to a stranger, 30% texted with that stranger, 15% tried to meet with a stranger, 11% actually followed through meeting with the stranger, and 6% gave their home address to a stranger. Another major problem with kids on the internet is their access to pornography. 51% of kids ages 11 through 13 have seen pornography at some point. The average age of first exposure to pornography is 11 years old. And this statistic I found rather alarming. 22% of online porn consumption by minors are by kids 10 years old or younger. Early porn consumption is associated with earlier sexual encounters, increased casual sexual behavior, increased sexual aggression, and gender stereotypical sexual beliefs. Okay, as I am sure everyone is aware, social media is a big part of a lot of middle school students' lives. On the next few slides, we will go over some popular social media sites and examine the effects it can have on adolescents. Here are a list of the most popular social media apps right now. You'll notice Facebook is not listed here. Facebook really is not very popular with kids these days. It's more for older people, parents. So these are the social media apps that students and kids are currently using. The first is YouTube. While this may not technically be a social media site, if you have a child, you know just how popular YouTube is. In 2019, approximately 85% of teens reported that they had used it. many of the videos on YouTube are suitable for kids, there are still a lot of problems with the site. There have been reports of videos showing abuse to female characters, suicides, school shootings, and other gory, disturbing content. Snapchat is a messaging app, and according to their website, the delete feature is their default, meaning that the messages sent will be deleted either once they are viewed or after they expire. But that is really a myth. Even though snaps are automatically deleted, users can still take screenshots before messages disappear. And also Snapchat can make sexting seem okay because it seems risk-free. It might encourage users to share pictures containing sexy images. TikTok, the users make short videos on pretty much anything, ranging from singing and dancing to political commentary. TikTok can be concerning for a number of reasons. First, the songs that are being performed can be highly inappropriate. A number of songs contain swearing and sexual content. Strangers are able to comment and can often be inappropriate, especially when considering that adults can comment on the post that young kids are putting out there. Twitter is a microblogging site where users can post up to 280 characters per tweet. Although profiles can be set to private, most teens report having a public profile, and public tweets are the norm. It's important to talk to your kids about what they post and how quickly their post can spread. Instagram is a photo and video sharing site in which users can have either a public or private profile page. And some things parents need to know about Instagram. Kids may use the number of likes they get on Instagram as a measure of their success or self-worth. And this site can be problematic if kids are posting to validate their popularity. Some teens also create other accounts where they post pictures that they don't necessarily want their parents to see. They call this a Finsta or fake Insta. And then lastly on this slide, we have Discord. Discord is a site or app that is rising in popularity. It started as a place for gamers to chat while playing video games, but it kind of evolved to a place where users can use text or voice chat and video chat to discuss a wide variety of topics. Some things parents need to know about Discord. They have public and private servers, which is basically like discussion groups. Teens can join public groups, they can ask to join private ones, or they can start their own. The safest option is for them to join a private group with people they know in real life. The groups can range from completely tame and well-moderated to groups meant for adults. Some other apps parents should know about. The first is Kik Messenger. This is an app that allows people to text for free. It can be dangerous because people can search for other people to chat with, which means that strangers can potentially start chats with your child. There have been a few high-profile crimes associated with this app, including a child pornography case and the murder of a 13-year-old girl. Yubo has been called Tinder for teens. If you're not aware, Tinder is a dating app for adults. So this is being called a dating app for teens. This is because of the swiping feature it has to either accept or reject profiles. This app is particularly scary for a number of reasons. First, although it is meant for teens 17 and older, it is incredibly easy for users to lie about their age. And secondly, for the app to work, users must share their location and other personal information. Additionally, it encourages contact with people you don't know, since the whole point of this app is to meet new people. And lastly, Omegle is a chat site where strangers are paired in either a text or video chat. There are filters that allow users to connect with others based on their mutual interest. And obviously a site like this is not a good place for kids. A lot of the users are looking for more sexual chats, and since chats are anonymous, they are often very explicit. And these three apps in particular are gaining in popularity, and they are really ones parents should be aware of and prohibit, especially if your child is in middle school. And as we go over all of this, it is important that we remember that preteen and teen brains are still developing. Specifically, the area called the prefrontal cortex is still developing. And this is the area of the brain that is responsible for allowing us to think ahead, to understand consequences, and to make decisions. And preteens are still developing their problem-solving abilities and their awareness of other people's opinions of them. And what this means is that because teen brains are still evolving, risk-taking, poor decision-making, awareness of peer approval are all increased. And taken together, this makes the internet a potentially dangerous place for young people. Okay, so now we are going to go over some of the downsides of social media. The first downside is the comparison aspect. One quote I found on Common Sense Media was that what teens see on social media can become a personal ruler, and trying to measure up can bring them down. So for comparison, content on social media includes a lot of images of beauty ideals. Many images are filtered or photoshopped, and comparing themselves to others on social media can impact how young people feel about themselves. The next downside is the pressure that social media can cause. Trying to keep up with connections and staying in the know can make social media more compulsive than fun. Teens and preteens often feel pressured to be online and available 24/7. There is a fear of missing out, or FOMO, and keeping up with social media can start to feel like a full-time job. Then, of course, there is drama. Being left out, cyberbullying, and other factors. With all of that, social media can be very stressful. People are more likely to say mean things when they are online versus being face-to-face. And being online can amplify and accelerate mean comments, rumors, and embarrassing information and photos. And social media can also cause kids to isolate. And kids isolate themselves for a variety of reasons. The online world may seem less complicated, and it may feel like a refuge and a place to avoid their problems in the real world. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about cyberbullying. It is an issue that is affecting a lot of our kids. First, we're going to watch this short video.
I got cyberbullied in the beginning of 10th grade, and this girl was posting anonymous comments on my pictures saying how I was ugly and fat, and she would send me texts about how she saw me in the hallway and I didn't look good that day, or something about my appearance, and she always had a nasty comment to say.
I always get body shamed for being thick or being too big.
So easy to send a photo of yourself. You might trust somebody but end up not being a trustworthy person. Even if it's behind their back, it's still cyberbullying. It's hurtful.
One time I posted a picture and I got it was like, oh, like, you're totally gay, like, that's so gay, and it was like, okay. And then they kept commenting.
I was FaceTiming her and maybe something that I shouldn't have been, and she took a screenshot of me and sent it to a bunch of people at my school.
I felt hurt at first because when somebody's saying a bunch of mean things to you, it kind of gets to you, even though you're taught not to worry about everybody else's opinion.
I started questioning whether or not I should even keep my social media accounts because all of this negativity is just held within it.
Last year I didn't want to go to school because of a person saying things online.
I didn't even want to go outside. Oh, I didn't want to spend time with friends because because I thought I was like fat or so yeah.
Okay, some stats about cyberbullying. 59% of teens in the United States have experienced at least one type of abusive behavior online. 42% have experienced offensive name calling. 25% have had false rumors spread about them. 25% have received explicit images. 16% have received physical threats. And 7% have had explicit images of themselves spread without their consent. But it's not all bad. Online support can help kids deal with difficult times. There is a feeling of connection playing online games with friends. And it can also create opportunities to learn skills necessary for today's world. And social media and online games can help families connect. The key is finding balance. And when used in balance and together, both social media and digital games can help families connect. And here is a short video about kids and social media.
So much of parents' fear around social media use comes from this fear that their kids' lives will be ruined forever. And we see that a lot of times online where people make poor decisions and then their lives are affected in pretty dramatic ways. But I think it's important to step back with kids and help them understand how can you be more intentional about how you're spending your time online and how can you align those with your values. The smartphone was only really released about 10 or 12 years ago. So all these apps are new for parents as well. Kids are going through some treacherous terrain when it comes to technology and social media use. But we also need to understand that they're using technology for some positive things, learning, understanding, communicating. So when we do that, we become more open to helping kids in an objective way that protects them from some of the detrimental, draining, and dangerous things that may happen online or in real life. So where do I start? What do I do? The first is this idea of developing awareness. Now, learn what apps your kids are using, learn how to use them, download them on your phone, and then you can come from a framework that's more objective rather than coming from a place of fear and telling kids they can never use something. The second thing is creating opportunities for daily and weekly digital detox. Taking kids' phones and devices away at night can be a really easy way to do this. And a lot of times kids will tell me, I don't want to tell my parents this, but I'm really grateful that they take my phone away at night because then I can tell my friends I'm not available after a certain hour. Otherwise, it becomes this feeling of always online, always having to react. And kids don't want that either, but they don't really know how to effectively self-regulate. And the third thing is helping kids figure out their why. Why you're reaching for your phone, or why you're posting, or why you're taking so many photos when you're with friends. The idea is really to help kids identify and understand what is energizing for them and what is draining. They have a choice in how they spend their time online. They can opt into experiences and opt out. And that's a really empowering message. And once they're given permission and understanding that they have choices, they actually start making really good ones that are in line with their own personal values.
Okay, and here are some tips to help kids find that balance. The first is to limit screen time. Learn about and use the parental controls on your child's device or computer, and create time for a daily or weekly device detox. So maybe put it away at dinner time, or have a set time where all devices have to be turned off for the day, anything like that. Also develop awareness. Learn about the apps your child is using and download them and learn how to use them yourself. That way you can objectively say, like, either this is okay or it's not okay. Then you can use your discretion. And also ask questions. Who are they talking to online? What type of interactions are they having? And are these interactions making them feel connected or isolated? The point is to get involved and stay involved in your child's online world. So these are some typical behaviors and then concerning behaviors. So typical behaviors for middle school kids and teenagers is worrying about popularity, independence and distancing from family, concern about their appearance, strong emotions, exploring their identity, and unconcerned with consequences. Those are all typical behaviors that you don't necessarily have to be overly concerned about. But when you need to step in is when you see changes in their behavior. If you notice that they're very anxious after being online, if they are overly irritable or secretive, and if they start withdrawing or isolating themselves. And some clear warning signs where you definitely need to step in and either seek help or, definitely step in, is if they start self-harming or they're having suicidal thoughts, grades are dropping, you notice changes in their sleep and eating habits, and they are crying at a more increased rate. Some online resources for parents. As parents, there are a number of ways that you can help your child navigate their online world. The most important thing that we can do is to stay involved. Set parental controls on their devices. For Apple, you can go to support.apple.com. For Google or Android devices, you can go to families.google.com. And at Microsoft, you can go to microsoft.com. These will allow you to set up time limits and block websites or apps that you don't want your child using. Common Sense Media is a great website for parents. They offer expert reviews on websites and games and apps. They have helpful tools and really so much more. Childmind.org for the Child Mind Institute is another great website. They provide useful and accurate information that empowers families and communities. And that is basically it on our internet safety presentation. I want to thank you for watching. And I hope the main takeaway from this presentation is that you notice that it's important for parents to stay involved in what their kids are doing online, and that you have conversations with them about it. Look at what they're looking at, help them find that balance between their online and offline worlds. Thank you so much. Take care.